Well, hello friends. Hope you all enjoyed that spooky little intro. Happy early Halloween, everybody. We have to first give shout out for It's Only Fitting Daddy.
Daddy.
That was for you, Danny. Look at Stanley's. Oh my god, if only we still had emoji rain. Let's get it. Daddy Josh, Charlie, Brett, Durotan just popped in, Jack Crick. I saw Ty Sabin and I want to acknowledge Ty had a hilarious comment. I'm gonna find it. Patrick, Kelly, Sean, of course. Where is Ty's comment? At least, oh, here we go. I'm always sad on November 1st, and Mariah Carey is fully thought out. Y'all, they didn't even give us that. Already they're showing Christmas commercials. I went to Target the other day, and there's already Christmas decorations. It just creeps up earlier and earlier every freaking year. So I wanted to acknowledge that. That was hilarious. Give me a good laugh. And Atar's here.
Zug. Thanks for subscribing.
Shout out. We got the full squadron here. Let's go, everybody. It's going to be a fun little episode. But yes, hope you all enjoyed the Sal, Ricky Ricardo. Let's go. Brent. Friends are all joining. Jerry. Hope you all enjoyed the little spooky intro. That was actually, if you were eagle-eared listeners will recognize that I played that in the outro of my reaction for the festival, carnival, clowny theme. We got the little pumpkin lights, and Tom is dressed up as a baseball player who can't hit the ball.
I'm dressed up as Derek Jeter, the captain. So
okay, that's fair.
My baseball player that I'm dressed up as certainly can hit the ball, but
He
the
needs
Yankees
to-
that are starting should be right about now have not been able to hit the ball. So, Sal, it's not the last day of baseball. The 4-0 run starts tonight, and it's going to make it even more satisfactory when we get to Game 7 and win in 7 games. So
We'll see. That could be the horror story of this evening for
the
Tom.
the 4-0 run
No.
starts tonight.
For your sake, I really hope so. I can't even enjoy. I'm rooting for the Dodgers, y'all. My team, I'm in no position to talk. My team, the Phillies, played like we didn't even freaking want it, so we got out pretty lickety split in the blink of an eye. So I can't talk. I'm in no position to shame right now because your team at least made it, but I can't even enjoy. So my backup, I'm rooting for the Dodgers. That's my little self-imposed rule. If my OG team doesn't make it, I'll root for the Los Angeles, the local team, if they have endured, and they clearly are. So we'll see. We will see. We are definitely going to go tune into that. But we wanted to pop on this evening and celebrate the season, y'all, as if we haven't been doing that on the channel all month. But I didn't really know what else to cover tonight. We are very behind because we've been watching the World Series, haven't caught up on Penguins, so we couldn't really talk about that this evening. So I thought, why not just celebrate the season and discuss some horror movies? Because I know that y'all have some mixed feelings. Let's go, Hand of a Manga tuning in at work, but we'll post if I can. Oh my gosh, you are the best.
Nice.
Happy to have you here. And T-Money, he is here. Let's go.
Let's go.
Gang, it's showing up and showing out.
Whole
so you
gang.
guys
About 50 people. About 50 people viewing.
you guys
hanging
must really be enjoying the horror content. Uh-oh, Neil.
Neil, Dodger fan. Neil, 4-0 run starts tonight, Neil. Watch out, Neil.
We'll see. Go Cowboys, says Daddy Josh. I hope that's sarcastic.
Yeah,
I
we
hope
want to talk about
real
scary
horror
things and horrific things. The Cowboys certainly fall into that category. They are horrific.
Both your teams just
The Yankees in the batter's box are pretty horrific. The MVP of the league, Aaron Judge in particular, pretty scary. Until tonight, they're going to have 15 runs, 2 of them grand slams, no errors, and pitching a perfect game tonight. So,
yeah, we'll
that's what's
see.
gonna happen. Sal and Daddy Josh was rooting for the Yankees as well. Neil is now rooting for the Yankees. I think I just convinced Neil to root for the Yankees. So,
Well, sports aside, let's get into. There's no necessarily hardcore docket for this evening's conversation, but you guys have been tuning into all of my horror reactions this month. But there are many, not many. I don't really. You've probably. Well, I don't know. I'm a seasoned veteran after this month of horror content, but I would say previously Tom is the more informed, has some more expertise in the horror genre. But I think we both have aligned in our. I think our favorites are very similar. We don't watch a lot of horror, but we stick to the stuff that we like every year when it rolls around. But this is, of course, very much meant to be interactive. I know the theme here in the opening. I had Jack Torrance. Here's Johnny in the thumbnail, along with our other favorite, Michael Myers. That is an OG classic for us that we didn't actually get cultured in until last. Was that last year? No, it was whenever the third installment of the new trilogy came out. Which one was that? 2022?
yeah, maybe 2 years ago. Somebody grinded through all of them.
Yes, but up until then, we had never even seen the original Halloween films with Jamie Lee Curtis, Michael Myers, the OG. And that has since become like, I don't know. Do you have another favorite?
Horror movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think my favorites would be between, Silence of the Lambs is like borderline horror versus thriller for me, but it might be my number one. Silence of the Lambs.
Well, good thing I finally watched it.
Silence of the Lambs, The Shining is up there. Halloween is fantastic. None of those are like super like scary though.
Halloween,
if we're going
maybe.
like scary, I mean, I always go back to Case 39.
Describe
Case
that, because
39
that's a very
is
niche one.
totally under the radar, not a super popular movie. I don't know if anyone watching has seen Case 39, but it's with is it Renee Zellweger that stars in that?
No, I wouldn't.
I always get her mixed up with someone else, but anyway, the story is it's this lady that works in child protection services gets called to this house because his parents are trying to kill their like 8-year-old daughter.
Oh.
And she saves the daughter from the parents, but then realizes that the parents were very just in trying to kill their 8-year-old daughter.
Oh.
And it goes completely off the rail, and it's like horrifying.
Whoa.
So Case 39 is an underrated one that I really like. But I also I love the Paranormal Activity movies. I mean, The Conjuring's fantastic. Exorcist is fantastic. But if I'm ranking all of those together, then I think Silence of the Lambs is still at number one.
Still your top?
Yeah. Because the story is so good.
Yeah.
So.
Ooh, you have a fellow. I gotta say,
go.
I'm shocked that somebody else has actually heard of that movie, because that was so. Tom is not a big movie watcher, friends, so he likes to watch the most random niche things. And I'll go out of town and then come back, and he'll be like, "Yeah, I watched all these strange movies no one's ever heard of before." I will say one movie that you stumbled upon that I have since learned is actually one of the craziest films of all time. I think also based on Stephen King, The Mist, which also stars Sam Witwer. But I joined Tom to watch that one day and talk about perhaps one of the most harrowing, horrific, we'll never get over haunting endings of all time.
True.
Of anything, ever. No spoilers, but if you've seen The Mist, you know. I cannot think about that without feeling a visceral reaction.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that is one... You're right. In terms of endings, that movie is on a next level of endings. With that.
Diabolical.
So, that movie is ridiculous.
The Mist is mad. I see we've triggered the fellow Mist fan.
That's true. I forgot.
The end of The Mist drives me crazy.
Yeah. That's a good movie. I mean, from start to finish, a fantastic movie. And then the end, you're just like, how the audacity ended that is gut-wrenching. Absolutely gut-wrenching.
I wanted to address Hand of Omega is talking about, just saw Trap, which was okay, went on for too long. I feel like you've seen some very niche ones here. And also, I think you just mentioned another one as well. Oh, Smile is one that I've been interested to check out. Julian Ortiz, member for 33 months. Let's go. Thank you so much. Hey, Kat. Hey, Tom. Kat, you should, I love, have watched The Night of Demons 1988 or Demons 1985. And Tom, Case 39 wasn't scary. It was okay.
Come on.
Hey, everyone.
Come on, Julian.
Listen, y'all. After this month, there's a Miss TV series that says Hand of Omega. Wait, what? Okay, hang on. I'm gonna look into that. But after this month, y'all, I cannot take any more. Somebody commented earlier, I think it was Toby Maguire, who had asked if I had seen Midsummer, for example. And I swear this relates to what I'm saying. It goes full circle. The answer is yes. I saw Midsummer, I think in either 2019 or 2020. And it has taken me this long to get over it. Because that movie permanently effed me up. I watched it because I was in a phase. Florence Pugh is my, like, girl crush celeb. I try not to worship celebrities because my parents raised me to, like, not idolize people or put anybody on a pedestal. But if there is one pedestal, I have one exception, and it is for Florence Pugh. I love her so freaking much. So when I embarked on my, you know, your hyperfixation when you watch something or you discover an actor or an artist or band, and then you have to just go and watch everything they've ever done or listen to every song they've ever made. That's what I had with Florence Pugh, and so I was on a mission to watch everything she's ever done, and so I was like, all right, I'm going to suck it up and watch Midsummer, and that was the biggest mistake of my life. Frick that movie in the best way possible. Ari Aster, I believe, is the director. This is where I'm going with this, is also the director of Hereditary, which I've heard is even worse than Midsummer, and we're reconnecting, hopefully. Come on, stream. No. Come back. Okay, it's showing green, which I think means we're Gucci. Hopefully we come back.
Okay.
But yes.
We're good.
I could not bring myself to watch Hereditary because we watched The Conjuring today, and that's going to close out, that's going to serve as the finale for Reactober this month. I will be starting a new monthly installment on the channel of Scaredy Cat reactions because you guys have really loved the horror stuff. And it's been really fun, and I feel like we've gained a new little community here on the channel delving into all of that, and it's been fun to have really, like, very interesting discourse about these movies. So I'm going to make it a monthly series, where I might do one maybe horror reaction per month. So that is going to start in November, and we're going to kick things off with Hereditary, but I could not bring myself to squeeze that in here. Yeah, everyone's corroborating what my fears are in the chat. Hereditary is next level. Hereditary messed me up and still haunts me to this day. Yep. That's...
I've never seen it either, so I don't...
Maybe we should do it together. Maybe we should do it together. I freaking begged you to do that with me for half of these freaking Reactober ones, and you said no. I might make you do this for Hereditary. Please! Please,
no,
I can't.
Ruin the experience.
I am so
Watch
messed
it
up.
at like 10 a.m. when it's nice and sunny out.
That's what I do. Today, though, was botched. Today was awful because we have a wind advisory in LA right now. So, like, the wind was blowing outside. It was making the vent rattle. The blinds were blowing because we have god-awful windows, and so our insulation's god-awful. So, like, the blinds were... Everything was just really... The conditions were not good. But y'all, F's in the chat if you want to see Tom. Hereditary is just straight up traumatizing. Let's be traumatized together. Come on, y'all. F in the chat for Tom.
You can do it. it would be more entertaining if it's just you doing it. Danny!
Thank you.
Danny!
I hope you never tire of us. This is the season. This is the one time a year where we can appropriately address you as such. But thank you so much for the super chat, my friend. Eyes Wide Shut disturbed me to my core. A lot of adult content, but it's all very symbolic. It left me a shell of a human being. Holy smokes. Chat's moving too quick. Hang on. By the way, thank you both for making this channel. I feel like home. It's home because you're here, Danny.
Shout out to you, Danny.
And I'm so grateful that you never left after the first time we ever screamed your name like Jack Torrance. But Eyes Wide Shut. Who is in that? I have heard of that one. But have yet to see it. I've only just now reached the tip of the iceberg, y'all, on my horror journey here, as you all have more witness to this month. So a lot of this is still very new territory to me. But I was explaining to my members today because they joined me. We did a live stream watch party for The Conjuring, and I was explaining to them that as they labeled me, I'm a little bit of an adrenaline junkie now because I see the appeal of. Yeah, in the moment I'm petrified and terrified and just want it to be over. But after a few days, I've been like, all right, on to the next one, you know, the adrenaline, the rush. So I'm starting to learn the appeal of, you know, as somebody who was always on the outside looking in, I never understood why people were actively fans of horror film, like 365 days a year, not just during Halloween. And even then, like, my idea of getting in the season for Halloween is, yes, we'll stick to the ones we like. We like Michael Myers. You know, we like Halloween, and I'll watch frickin' like Hocus Pocus, y'all, or like, you know, Nightmare Before Christmas, or Young Frankenstein. Shout out, I saw somebody else mention that in the chat. I like to watch OG tame ones, and then I'll finish it all off with a good old rewatch of Rocky Horror Picture Show, always on actual October 31st. But this year has been a reckoning for me. I've delved more into here's some assurance from Julian. Thank you, Julian, for the super chat. Hereditary was so boring I was falling asleep. Well, that gives me a little bit of hope. Like, if it's not gonna rock my world, shake me to my core. I don't know how to gauge this. I have some people up in here saying it was the most traumatizing thing they've ever seen, and then Julian's out here hardcore falling asleep. So we'll see. To be determined. But that will probably be coming up again. Come on, internet. There's no freaking way I would ever... There's no way I'd ever be able to react to that and get it on the internet without this channel getting taken down.
Yeah, I mean,
based on what I've heard.
Human Centipede is... My college roommates and I did just a marathon watching Human Centipede all for the first time in college. And, I mean, those movies are... They're not, like, really scary. They're just, like, disgusting.
Ew.
The first one is a little more terrifying. The third one is just, like, batshit crazy gross. Like, more of, like, a comedy of how disgusting it is.
Ew.
You'd be pretty repulsed by those movies.
I would say so. Jack Thomas says, I wanted to say happy early Halloween. Thanks, Jack. Right back at you.
Shout out, Jack.
Drop your guys' costumes if you're doing anything this year in typical fashion. I was too busy doing my Reactober ventures, so I had no time nor money to... I never have the budget, it seems, to go all out and do the costume I actually want. So, I don't have anything. I'm not going to be rocking anything this year. But drop your costumes if you're doing something. No costume for me, says Sean. It's alright. Likewise. Hand of Omega is getting sick in the chat.
Yeah.
From the Human Centipede. Yeah, I figured for my own good I probably shouldn't touch those. Ugh, I touch those movies. So those might remain in the vault of films I never get around to for the cultural knowledge, but that's it.
I mean, honestly, I bet a Human Centipede reaction video would do pretty well because, I mean, they are disgusting. So
yeah, I couldn't even get through the Evil Dead. I was dry heaving.
I'm sure, like, if you're looking to, like, for
Trigger
comedic
people?
relief, if you're looking for, like, comedic relief, I could see someone going to watch a Human Centipede reaction. Like anyone who sat through Human Centipede definitely wants to see how other people are going to react to the Human Centipede, because it is ridiculous. So I bet a reaction to Human Centipede would actually do pretty well.
No, there's no way I'd be able to edit that in a way to get it on this.
You would have to
God's internet.
You would have to show minimal footage.
Yeah.
Because of
Ew, no.
how gross it is. But
I could maybe create a challenge for myself of how long can I last through Human Centipede. Make it a game. Wickety Split, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Toby asks, Kat, have you seen American Psycho? I have not. But that is the one with Christian Bale, correct? That is allegedly in the works for a remake, like everything is in this frickin' the year of our Lord 2024. Everything is getting a remake these days. So I actually am tempted to put that on my reaction list because I know that's a classic. I'm pretty sure there's great social commentary in that one. And if there's a remake in the works, then I need to get cultured. The first Saw movie turns 20 years old today. Sweet Lord. Oh. That is another franchise. Hello, my mom's up in the chat. That is another franchise that I contemplated adding to the Reactober roster, but who was it? I think my brother advised me against it because it's essentially just torture porn, as he calls it.
Yeah.
No plot, just terror.
Yeah. Yeah.
Check out The Descent if you haven't. One of the best horror movies ever. My mom's coming. I'll get there.
Listen, Sal already said they're down 2-0. I don't have the score.
What?
But I haven't wore any Yankees apparel for any of the other games.
It's been only like 10 minutes worth of gameplay.
Clearly the first 3 games didn't go very well. So I got to change it up. I got to go all out and commit to the 4-0 run to be the most exciting World Series in World Series history. So that's what we're pulling for here. Specifically Neil's pulling for it.
Wow. I like what Miguel has to say here. Hereditary is one of the best horror films that does not really lean on cheap jump scares and actually focuses on a creep factor. I might need that right now because more of the films than I thought this month had jump scares than I thought they would. Like, I wasn't braced for... I'm not a good jump scare handler, so I feel like everything we watched had some really bad ones. Maybe except for, like, Silence of the Lambs, but I'm down for something that doesn't lean into that after this month, y'all. So.
December should be, like, Christmas movie marathon.
Maybe.
All lighthearted. You can watch Santa Claus. You can watch Elf. Well, you've already seen all those.
I've already watched all those.
You can watch every holiday Vince Vaughn movie, because Vince Vaughn. I was thinking about Vince Vaughn yesterday, randomly, and I was like,
Vince Vaughn. Great.
Vince Vaughn is incredible.
Great dude.
Incredible. I mean, the dude is hilarious.
Don't know him personally, but he's great.
Never met him, but all his movies are incredible and hilarious. So we need more Vince Vaughn
on this channel, maybe
in life. More Vince Vaughn in life. But yeah, have a nice lighthearted watch a bunch of Christmas holiday movies that you've never seen before.
Well, we gotta catch up on the classics, y'all. I need to watch Gladiator to get ready for that remake or sequel.
Very holiday-y.
I gotta watch. I already have a long list of stuff that I've also been neglecting. Like, I gotta get back into Legend of Korra, y'all. I swear to God, we are gonna finish that series before 2025 strikes. Break's over. Back to work. Peace out, Hand of Omega. Thank you for spending your break with us. Yup, my mom knows the good old OG Vince Vaughn quotes. But
Dodgeball? You ever seen Dodgeball?
Yes.
Okay. Or just comedy. It doesn't have to be holiday, but just like,
I know. Listen,
just like watch all these comedy movies that you've never seen before.
I'm gonna take.
Have you seen The Dictator? Have I made you watch The Dictator? With Sacha Baron Cohen?
Maybe.
Okay, if you haven't, you should watch.
You know what I get requests for a lot? The one you always tell me to watch, Tropic Thunder.
That too.
That too. Like Tom Cruise.
That's
RDJ.
blackface Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
Tropic Thunder. That's a one. Yes, you should watch that. Talladega Nights. Have you ever seen Talladega Nights? You gotta watch Talladega Nights.
No. See, yes. I want to watch some stuff that's more enriching.
Yeah, this is all lighthearted, hilarious. comedy.
Anyway,
So
back to the topic at hand, which is the horror content. But everyone's in agreement that everyone's throwing out horror Christmas themed movies now.
she has seen Borat, right? You've
I
seen
have
Borat, right? So
Ricky
you can't do
Ricardo.
Borat.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Tropic Thunder is a masterpiece.
Yeah.
Tropic Thunder is gold.
It's
Yeah.
so good.
I used to think that Tom was the only one endorsing that, y'all, but everyone has been equally enthused. Tom was the first one to suggest that to me, and then I was like, "You're crazy." And then I got that request in the comment section multiple times. I was like, "Okay, maybe I really actually do have to watch this." But yeah, we'll see, folks. I definitely need to do a lot of recuperating after this month and get my head back into a state of equilibrium.
The Dictator is very Aladdin. If you've seen The Dictator, you get it. Oh, Stanley's, you removed it. But I got it.
Dang. Now we gotta add Tropic Thunder to the list. And still it is The Exorcist, period. We will see, y'all. I told my members this, but I think I'm gonna do a tier list video to kind of do a little recap, a little retrospective on this month's endeavors and rank everything that we watched. In terms of how I liked it as a film and in terms of the scare, like how scary it was versus how I think it holds up as a film. Because unfortunately, some of these I couldn't even acknowledge the filmmaking accomplishments. For example, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I wish I had known of the production accomplishments. I didn't even know that was an indie film when I went in to watch it. But I wish I'd known more about that so that I could appreciate the filmmaking aspects of it and so much of the way they shot it, the way it was directed, the sound quality, like everything that goes into it. Like as a film in general, there were so many incredible accomplishments and aspects that I was overlooking because I was so freaking disturbed. So I'm going to do a little retrospect and assess how I feel about each of them as a film and then how I feel about each of them as how it scared the frick out of me. Hellraiser is one that I kept getting requests for after I think I dropped my Texas Chainsaw video, and the fact that y'all are requesting it a lot means that it must be bad. Means you must want to watch me suffer a little bit through something. So I might add that to our Scaredy Cat series of videos coming up, because I got so many more requests than I thought I would for the horror content. And I knew I wasn't going to be able to fit it all in the span of this month, but I don't want to leave y'all hanging. And I also opened a can of worms with half of these franchises. I didn't realize The Shining has prequels and sequels.
We've seen the sequel with Ewan McGregor.
Oh my god, I'm an idiot. I'm talking about Silence of the Lambs. I keep getting... Yes, we have seen Dr. Sleep. Yep. Shockingly, really good sequel with Ewan McGregor.
Big Daddy.
But yes. But I didn't realize how many of these, Evil Dead is a whole franchise in and of itself. It has chapter 2, so I've opened a lot of Pandora boxes here that I need to close, aka finish what I started. So
what about I Am Legend? Have you ever seen I Am Legend? That counts as kind of horror, right?
I've seen it enough that unfortunately I don't think I'd be able to do a genuine reaction to it. But it was so long ago and I've only seen it in parts. Julian, thank you so much again.
Julian!
Cat, watch Real Steel with Hugh Jackman from 2011. I shall add it to the list. Oh, I might have already put that on there because I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong. Let me know. Maybe you were mentioning and suggesting that before, but I will add it to the list. Alien, I did already do, asks Matt Torrance, but I think I'm going to finish out that franchise because I know after I watched the sequel, Aliens, a lot of people were saying to just stop there and not keep going, but I started frickin' Prometheus, so I gotta finish that BS, my god. I know where that's getting ranked. Sweet Jesus Lord, I forgot about that one in the midst of all these other, because I wouldn't necessarily look at that as a horror movie, but God, that just conjured something within me just even saying that. So I have to finish what I started with that and watch freaking Covenant now to finish out the prequels to see where that all goes. But I've been encouraged to neglect the comments and just make my own decision and see how I feel personally when it comes to the remaining Alien films, in spite of the fact that they might have tanked historically and they're not exactly praised as much as the first two iterations. I frankly was shocked to see that Aliens was just as highly rated as Alien, the original. So that was a good sign. And then I was sad to hear that the rest of the series didn't necessarily go the same route. But people in the comment section were leaving me good motivational support and saying just don't listen to everybody else and make your own decisions, make up your own mind about it. And I was like, you know what, that's my job here as a reactor. And playing Alien Isolation is a worthy sequel. I do need to do that, and I've been promising Charlie specifically that for the longest time, because I think it was Charlie who helped encourage me to start dabbling in the Alien franchise. Unfortunately, I would have been doing that this month to celebrate Halloween and the scare factor and whatnot, because when you look up like the scariest horror games ever, I'm pretty sure that is always like the first one that comes up. It is legendarily terrifying based on the way people talk about it. So I still need to do that, but there is an ongoing video game strike with SAG-AFTRA, so I am going to wait till that is resolved. But we might pick things up with that. I don't have to wait for it to be October again to start doing the horror content. So you should play horror games as well, says Toby Parker. That's how we celebrated last year with Outlast. And
those are some of the funniest clips of all time. If you go back in Catherine Short's feed, you'll find some Outlast clips that she got and posted to Shorts, or the whole streams. The whole streams for those are still up. They should still be up.
God. What's sad though is when you look at it, took me 5 different times. I think I did 4 parts of gameplay. Some of them were like 4 hours long too. And then I would go and look up other people's gameplay, and it took them 4 hours in one sitting just to finish the whole thing. I was like, how? I'm so bad. But I was just drawing it out. The misery and agony. I was just making it worse for myself because I'm so god-awful at video games. So pair that with the jump scares and the terror and fighting to find my way around in the darkness of that asylum. And God knows where else it took us. Ugh. Cat watched Stephen King
Julian.
Silver Bullet. Julian's on a roll here. Thank you so
Animal.
much. Watch Stephen King Silver Bullet, 1985. I actually definitely want to get more into Stephen King content, which I shockingly have never delved into necessarily. Beyond The Shining is Stephen King, correct?
Yep. It.
Well, that was new for me. That was one of my first other brushes
Pet
with
Sematary?
I've never done that either. I contemplated putting that on my list.
No.
But I
don't
didn't.
think I've actually ever seen that one.
I didn't want to do too many Stephen Kings.
Either.
Charlie, thank you so
Charlie.
much. My greatest request was Alien 2, Cat, not the game. You did it already. Oh, that's right. Yes. Well, I'm gonna finish out. Thanks to you, Charlie. That is an epic sci-fi franchise that I should be knowledgeable in, and I can't wait to watch Romulus, which I think is actually perhaps already available for purchase on streaming and stuff like that. So stay tuned, y'all, because Alien, it's not so scary that I need a break. Like I could keep going with those, and maybe it's also I'm just biased towards sci-fi, so I don't consider sci-fi horror to be that bad in comparison, because I know it's fake anyway, with the exception of frickin' Prometheus. Frick that movie. But Alien, I could keep going and not lose sleep at night. So, The Thing, that is another one that I got a lot of requests for. So I'm thinking I will add that as well, because that's also in the sci-fi realm. I think The Thing itself is an alien of some sorts. I don't know.
The Thing.
But yes. Halloween 2 was good. Which one, Matt Torrance? From the original, the one that got retconned essentially, when she goes to the hospital.
That's a whole topic on its own. What's your favorite Halloween movie?
Yeah, you're talking the Michael Myers Halloweens.
Yeah.
Well, you and I were talking about this.
Yeah, we were. So we can talk about it with everybody here, with all the 60 people here.
I don't know. Am I gonna? Say yours.
I think mine is the third one, where Jamie Lee Curtis has faked her death, and she has her son, and they move across the country to California, and changes her name, and all this stuff. But then Michael Myers literally goes across the country, tracks him down, breaks into the school. She's like the president of the school or whatever. That one might be my favorite, just because of the lengths she went to escape him, and then still he found a way. But that one ends in pretty conclusive, like, okay, game over.
Well, hence why it was, I think, retconned. I think you have to disclaim those ones are not the newer trilogy did not follow that storyline.
No, they did. I mean, it totally separated from it.
Yeah.
But the new ones, yeah, they pick up kind of where the second one left off, right? But yeah, the latest one is, I think there's been a lot of comments in there talking ill will about the most recent.
We'll get into it. Movies, so. We'll get into it. First, a few super chats. Lighthearted Loon 8, thank you so very much and welcome. If you're new here, I rather like Hellraiser 1 through. There's 4. Holy shit! And the Hulu 2022 version. Okay, so y'all are trying to get me into a whole other franchise here. I didn't realize Hellraiser is a series, an entire can of worms, an entire franchise. Oh dang! And W Ram, thank you so much. Kat,
shout out Ram.
You should check out Shallow Grave, a dark thriller with a baby-faced Ewan McGregor by the 28 Days Later director. Speaking of another movie, another classic that I have to add to my list, because that is also getting a sequel, a follow-up, 28 years later. Is that what it's going to be called or something like that? I forget. But I need to get in the know about that as well. There's so much I'm actually really behind on, y'all. I definitely don't have a shortage now that I've fully sent it and pulled the curtain, and I'm just interested in doing, movie reactions to tide me over between our shows. For example, we have Sweet Lord. What the frick is it? Actually, it just got announced the release date, right? December 3rd? Didn't you tell me that it was early, though?
Skeleton Crew, I think so.
Early December? So we have Skeleton Crew. So to buy our time until then, I've settled for doing some more movie reactions, and there's certainly no shortage of classics that I need to watch.
When does Last of Us 2 come out? It's the beginning of next year?
I don't know. Bird Church, thank you so much.
Church!
Out of the 10 films you watched, do you have a favorite antagonist from them? Ooh, frick. Good question. Oh, I might have to think on that. They're all so unique in their own way.
Oh.
The first ones that come into mind are obviously Freddy. We have the Xenomorphs, but I don't think count. Freddy, Predator, Leatherface, Pennywise.
What's his name?
Danny?
No, not Danny. His friend.
Tony,
that's right. Tony, your favorite antagonist?
Tony.
Oh, well, you didn't watch that as part of your reaction because you already seen
yes. I think I
Hannibal.
need to...
Hannibal Lecter.
True. Yeah, Hannibal
Gotta
Lecter.
be Hannibal.
God dang.
Of the ones you've watched.
I'm missing the, glaringly obvious. I think, he was certainly the most intriguing. You know what? Perhaps I will have a more... Thank you, because you've given me something to cover in my recap video, Bird Church, of who's my favorite. Maybe I'll also rank, like, the villains or something. I'm going to try to milk this month for all I can, y'all, because I put myself through so much self-induced pain and misery and agony and stress and insomnia. So I'm going to prepare for like 3 other follow-up videos that I'm going to do of just commentary on this month. But thank you. That gives me something to go off of. But yes, the new Halloweens. I think that's why I'm nervous to say, because dare I say, and maybe it's recency bias, because we rewatched the newer trilogy recently, but not the original ones, which we still have to do. So maybe if we rewatched the original ones more recently, I would feel like, oh yeah, no, classic all the way. Although my opinion's so not valid, so just take this with a fat grain of salt. I did tell you I loved the sequel when she's in the hospital, and there's seemingly no security. Nobody's on call.
Yeah, and Halloween 2, the original Halloween 2 is pretty scary.
And it's just, and for the record, we are referring to the ones that only have Jamie Lee Curtis in them, because I know that it is, the franchise is expanded. There's iterations that don't have Jamie Lee Curtis. The ones we're talking about, the original 1 through 3, and then the new 1 through 3, the ones that we have watched and are loyal to, all have Jamie Lee Curtis. Everything else that doesn't have her, we have not watched. No. So the Halloween 2 I'm referring to is the one that immediately in the timeline follows up the original, where they take her to the hospital and he tracks her there and kills all the nurses and doctors in the most bizarre, harrowing, crazy ass ways. Pardon my French. But I do see. I'm torn because I hate to say it, but I really liked the newest, the first installment of the new trilogy. Fast forward to the
Yeah.
future.
When he goes to her bunker, military
Yes,
grade house.
seeing her having designed her whole house, being a recluse her whole life, and she sets all of this up as a trap to she knows he's eventually going to come back one day. However,
And then him just going to town on the first responders that show up.
Yeah. Well,
Talk about a moment, a villain moment there.
yeah, but I will say that happens in the follow up after.
Is it Halloween Kills?
Yes.
He
That's how
doesn't
it
go to the
starts
house in the
off.
first one?
He goes to the house and then ends with him in the basement. Halloween Kills opens with him.
You're right. You're right.
Breaking out.
That's
but
right.
I will say I like you were saying in the third installment that was retconned where she has a son instead of a daughter and she's like the headmaster of that private school. I liked that idea for her character better because you saw her like remake her whole life. Like she didn't let it get her down. Like she changed, yeah, she freaking had to change her identity and go into like a witness protection. But
Yeah.
she
The one we were talking about, where she
Yeah.
goes to California,
Yes.
all across the country. And,
That's
yeah.
exactly what I'm talking about. And she has to reinvent herself, but you see that she has been able to move on and kind of live her life and get over it. And it's just as you notice, like, wow, she's in a really good place. And then he frickin' breaks out again and comes to frickin' find her. I feel like I liked that, I don't know, that for her character a little more than the recluse that we know her as. It's like she survived, but did she really? Like, she's just clearly been living like this, a frickin', homebody forever, raising her child in such abusive, overly protective situations that her daughter, she lost custody of her. Like, I don't necessarily like how severe it took her character, but it did build it to a point that it shows how epic it is that she's able to freaking rise above. And all along it's like everyone thought that she was crazy and deluded, but she's been just planning for this her entire life, this payback and revenge, and her whole house is a trap. But I do like the idea of her having moved on with her life and just reinventing herself and changing her identity. Daddy, thank you again.
Daddy!
Okay, here we go. Listen, okay, thank you, Danny. I feel like you read my mind. It's not a film and it's not really horror, but Twin Peaks is such a great spooky October vibe. I want to try to get back into this show because I'm having a little Kyle MacLachlan renaissance. You know what I said, y'all, when you start to watch something with one actor and you're like, now I need to watch everything they've ever done? I'm feeling that with him. And I will disclaim, and if my mom's still here, she can corroborate this, because that's a show from like my parents' generation, and my mom tried to get me to watch that show forever ago when I was still in high school, and I was interested in it, but I watched the pilot episode, and the pilot of Twin Peaks, from what I can remember, all I know is that there is, it's typical foggy small town that always has rain. And they discover a body of this teenage girl. And you come to learn that she's, very well loved in the town, like neighborhood sweetheart. And
Did we watch this together?
No, but I probably told you about this. And it goes and pans over to the high school, and it, you kind of get this idea in retrospect. Oh, it shows her on the cheerleading team. It shows XYZ. It shows that she was the homecoming queen. I kid y'all not, a month prior to when I first watched this show with my mom, because she watched the pilot with me, I had just won homecoming queen at our high school. And then we watched this and see this dead girl's body, and my mom looked over at me and she goes, homecoming queen. And I was like, frick, does that put a target on my back? Am I gonna be the person who dies in my small town story because I was the homecoming queen? So I didn't keep watching it after that because I was like, fuck that. Oh, and my mom is still in the chat, y'all, so she can corroborate this. So that's why I stopped. But I want to get back in because
it's been a good,
I'm not
9
homecoming
years.
queen. Yeah. I don't live there anymore, and I'm not the homecoming queen. So I think it's safe to say that I'm in the clear, knock wood. But I do really want to get into it, especially because Twin Peaks, it also had a little bit of a mini Renaissance remake. They did like another season, more modern. I don't know, but I've heard amazing things about that show. Lighthearted Loon 8, thank you so much again. You guys have all been on fire tonight. Y'all are so generous. Sleepy Hollow is also very fun. I would say lighthearted, but more fun and quirky for me. I'm not sure for yourself. Does that have Johnny Depp in it? Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, I need to go watch. I feel like I need to reclaim the last few days of October here for some actual fun, lighthearted Halloween seasonal movies. So that might be added to the list. Speaking
Hocus
of
Pocus.
yes, I always have to watch Hocus Pocus, and like Aiden is saying, Rocky Horror Picture Show. I always have to watch Rocky Horror every Halloween. So those are my usual traditions. October is not complete for me until I have watched those. Ray Park is in Sleepy Hollow. Okay, well there's incentive. Well, now I really have to freaking watch it. But yes, dang, y'all are firing off in the chat tonight. This is amazing. There's such a world. Okay, yes, Johnny Depp is in it. There's such a world of horror that I haven't watched. Oh, Casper, somebody suggested. Another one that I started that I never finished was the Disney Plus iteration of Haunted Mansion. I never actually even watched the original, though. I spent this entire month, y'all, watching the non-wholesome Halloween movies. I have to watch some wholesome ones to salvage what I can.
Halloween Town?
Maybe. Body Snatchers. What the heck is Body Snatchers? Even my mom has seen it. Well, dang. My list grows, y'all. I'm gonna have to revisit this chat for every month when I get started for the Scary Cat series, but fear not, Hereditary will be the first one up, probably. Maybe starting off with one of the worst ones, because many of y'all have said that is like the scariest thing ever. But Rosemary's Baby is another one that I contemplated doing. Night of the Living Dead 1968, says Julian. Thank you, Julian, once again for the super chat. But also that one was on my mind because I wanted to maybe get like an older classic. Not that I didn't watch some older ones, but I thought about doing that one and then I chickened out because there's something about the older ones that I have learned from this month, folks. It doesn't revolve around good horror withstands in spite of lacking any sort of technological advancements that we have today in filmmaking, is what I have learned, which can be a topic of discussion for our retrospective. But, you know, when you look at, again, I keep talking about it, but Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you know, there was an indie film with a freaking tiny budget, in you know, for the time, which it still would be small budget, less than $1 million for today, which is impressive, and it was one of the most harrowing, disgusting, vile, crazy, wicked, diabolical, crazy things I've ever seen. And I don't know if I don't even have any desire necessarily to watch any modern remakes because I don't think they'll be able to, and maybe that's wrong of me to write it off prematurely, but for some of these I don't think you're able to capture some of that old, what they were able to do back in the day, you know, with the technology that they had. It was also harrowing learning that, because if you watched my Texas Chainsaw reaction, I had to reassure myself that a lot of the bones and what I thought were props, all the bones and shiz, I had to just tell myself that they were fake. And many of you came in and corrected me in the comment section and were like, those actually were real bones, like they were allegedly in Poltergeist, which I had explained is one of my favorite horror movies. At the very end when she falls into the pool, those were also real bones, I think unbeknownst to the poor actress. There was a lot on Poltergeist. That would actually be so fun to like do a deep dive, although that's a little bit exploitative because that was just a very cursed film set to begin with, and whatnot. So it would be fun to like do a commentary deep dive video on like what went wrong on the Poltergeist set, but using real bones and not telling your lead actress is certainly one of them. I might be spreading misinformation, but correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
W. Ram, thank you
Ram.
so much. The Birds by Hitchcock is a classic. That is one I have to get around to as well. I think the only Hitchcock I've seen is Psycho. And again, there's something about those movies are freaking black and white, y'all. Like, they are so, sure, you could say outdated, but they capture this certain essence of fear that you kind of just can't replicate.
Oh, you know what you need to watch? What are the name of those movies? It takes place in the middle of Pennsylvania.
Nope.
In the what is that called? And it's where it's like there's the fire burning underground and it's been burning for hundreds of years. And this film takes place like they go to this place.
Silent Hill?
Yes, Silent Hill. Yes, that's right.
No,
Silent Hill.
I didn't know that was in freaking PA.
Yeah.
No, our home state, y'all.
No.
Real quick, Dave, member for 20 months. Holy shnikes. Thank you so much. Hello there, Cat, Moff Tom, and everyone. Sorry I've been MIA. Don't ever be sorry. We're just grateful that you're here. Been in Florida for my daughter's wedding earlier this month. Oh my God. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
And that's amazing. She probably has a similar anniversary to us. We got married in early October. It's a great month to get married, y'all. That's amazing. Thank you so much for being here, Dave, and congratulations. I hope you've been able to enjoy some good quality time with your fam. Yes, Silent Hill is one that people were suggesting.
Yeah, you should watch it.
That I'm scared to do that one because Johnny has...
You can go to where it takes place.
No.
You can go to where it takes place.
I think Johnny, who is much more of a horror film aficionado, watched that one forever ago. Perhaps when he was too little, but he has stated that one scarred the crap out of him. So, yeah. Listen, y'all. Maybe next October. Let's start the countdown now. I'll start racking up my list for a year from now. Let me recover a little bit. The set of Poltergeist was haunted, says Anatar. Yeah, something was going on. Definitely weird vibes. It kind of feels weird to say that that's one of my favorite horror films because there were very bizarre things going on. Daddy Josh, let's get it.
Daddy.
Member for 25 months. Here's to a great 2 years and a month, and to many more in this incredible community. Have you all seen any of the Scream movies? There are 6 now, I believe. I feel bad because I
don't think so.
I wanted to watch Scream for this, but I didn't think it would be fair or accurate or a genuine reaction because I've previously watched... Maybe some of you guys know him if you're into the commentary and film and television review space on YouTube, which I'm sure you might be if you're here, but one of my favorite commentary YouTubers and comedians, his channel name is Mike's Mike. He did a kind of recap reaction video of Scream, and I watched it one time, and he basically shares the whole plot and everything, so I was like, I don't think I can... if I were to watch the franchise, I could maybe start reacting after the first one. Because, yeah, there are so many now. It's growing. Scream 7's being made now, too. Oh, that's right. Yeah, there's quite a lot. Do you guys like The Exorcist OG? I did. I didn't realize so many people were saying in that comment section of my reaction that the third one is just as scary, if not worse. I didn't even realize there were some beyond. I knew there was Exorcist Believer, the one that just came out recently, that has actually some of the original cast members, which I didn't realize, obviously, when we were seeing the trailers for that one, the newer one, which I think kind of tanked. I don't think it did that well, but I didn't realize that there were earlier sequels following the original one. So I don't know if I'm ever gonna watch those. It took me 25 years to work up the strength to actually 25 plus years. Ooh, I'm forgetting my own age. Oh wow, Yankees scored a run.
Let's go.
Oh, finally.
4-0 run starts right now.
What's up, Lance?
Who hit? Did Aaron Judge finally get a hit, or is he still like a .04 batting average?
I think everyone else has been pulling their weight. Julian, thank you so much again.
Julian, you are an animal.
cat watch The Exorcist or Night of the Living Dead in the dark with the lights off and get the real effect of watching something there. It's good. Yeah, that is one thing. I was getting a lot of, not flack, but people were jokingly, for all of these reactions, commenting that I was nerfing myself inherently by watching so many of these in a fully lit room with the sun shining outside. But I could not watch these at night, y'all. I needed to have the rest of the day to, like, go for a walk. See, I'm so on edge. I hear something, anything now.
You heard something?
And I'm just like,
I was gonna say, the lights flashing? No, just the super chats are rolling in.
Yes.
Loon again.
Thank you so much. Loon. Thank you very, very much. A Night to Remember, 1958, is technically a horror movie. At least anyone who survived would say so. Well, frick, that kind of sounds a little bit familiar. There is a whole world of horror films that I've never delved into. So we have stuff to work with for my Scaredy Cat series. Try out Hell Night from 1981 with Linda Blair. Okay, interesting. I'd be curious to see what the rest of her filmography was after starting off strong right out of the gate. Guns blazing with The Exorcist when she was probably, what, like 15 when she filmed that? The Poor Dog Next Door is yeah. For real, my neighbors are probably like, what the frick is going on with her? Because twice a week I'm over here screaming my head off, and every single time I do, there is a dog that lives next door to us, and it is also screaming its head off when it can hear me. Yeah. And like, I'm not even on the shared wall. Like, I'm far away, and it can still hear me in here suffering. But somebody said that dogs can smell fear, and I think that's what's happening. Check out Cujo. Speaking of dogs, says Daryl. Perhaps. That's what my mom always used to call our neighborhoods when I was a child, had Rhodesian Ridgebacks that were giant, massive, huge. And is that not the breed that Cujo is? Correct me if I'm wrong. But my mom always used to call our next door neighbors dogs that whenever as we would approach and get out of our car, they would always jump up the fence and scare the crap out of me. And I remember I had a vivid memory of being in our backyard with our much smaller dog that was the size of a corgi, and she would antagonize them and bark over to the other side of the fence, and one day they jumped up and it started to shake, and I said, run! I swear to God, my life flashed before my eyes. Never mind, Cujo is a Saint Bernard. Oh, shiz. Those things are big.
All right, Yankees chatter going on. What's the score? What's the score, Daddy Josh?
Is it tied?
Someone else. Ren won. Let's go Yankees. Did they tie it up?
Well,
did they tie it up? I guess
we can wrap up shortly so that you can actually watch the game where they're playing well. We almost canceled this evening, folks, because this is obviously a must-win game for the Yankees, and Tom's been avidly watching. But
we couldn't cancel. We had to do it.
Well, yes, and this has been so fun. This has been a great way to just casually have a nice, joyful conversation about some horror films, y'all, and start accumulating some of our ideas for the Scaredy Cat series, which will be happening once per month. Lance, thank you so much. I just subscribed. Yay! I feel the same way. Lance. Thank you so much.
It's 2-1, top of the third, so they did not tie it up.
Oh, okay.
But who had the hit? Player stats.
Well, meanwhile, it was definitely fun to have a more lighthearted approach to celebrate, to get in the festive Halloween season. So whatever you guys are doing this week, if you're going to a costume party or if you get trick-or-treaters or whatnot, enjoy the festivities. Jack Thomas says, gotta get going, and I hope you guys have a good night. Hugs. Thanks, Jack. Same to you. Thank you so much for being here. And we had so many, I feel like there must have been so many new viewers tonight hopping on. You guys were showing up and showing out, so thank you so much. If this was your first stream, I was anticipating maybe, because I know there's been a lot of new folks joining and subscribing since all of the horror reactions, so I figured doing a horror-based stream might attract some of you, but yes, if this was your first one, or if you're just lurking in the chat, or not even lurking in the chat, if you're lurking and not engaging in the chat like we know some of you all do, if you're a silent lurker, we still love and appreciate you.
Yeah, or if you're watching the rewatch, thank you for watching.
Yes. One more from Daddy.
Daddy.
Oh, thank God, I really thought you were about to blow out the mic. A Star Wars horror movie about a Sith Lord, please.
Yeah.
Maybe that would be fun. Actually, thank you, Danny, because that would be a fun topic of conversation. I thought about doing for tonight, or at least at some point this month when I've been dried up of ideas for Dork Discourse topics. Is there room in the Star Wars universe for a Star Wars horror film? And if so, pitch us your ideas. But I think I want to save that for another stream. So get your ideas brewing, folks. If you could direct or write or pitch a Star Wars horror movie, what would it be? I think that would be a fun topic to get the creative juices flowing. I know half of you are gonna say Ewok Hunt because there is room.
Hunt.
There is room for horror in Star
Ewok
Wars. It's
Hunt.
called Ewok Hunt. The scariest freaking thing ever. I'm heading to the TV for the World Series, says Brett. Good night. Thank you so much, Brett, for being here. We are
Night, Brett.
not far behind you.
Also, Mother says that you say easy Cujo to any big scary dog, but literally my dad would say that to like me or
Did you
my
know the
siblings.
reference?
Yeah, but like he would say it to his children if they were riled up.
Power move.
So
Good. He's got a sense of humor.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
But yes, I think the best stream. Happy early Halloween, everyone. Well, thank you, Durotan. Thanks for being here. You have got to check out Alien Romulus soon. That's been hitting. I will. I think that's about to become free on streaming, hopefully. If I have to pay for it, I will. But I think that will definitely be coming up very soon. I've heard really good things. WRAM finishing us off with one last thank you so much. You've been so generous tonight. Thank you to everyone who has super chatted this evening.
WRAM.
It means so much. How often are you going to be doing Scaredy Cat? I missed it. I'm thinking I will start with one per month for now. But who knows? For popular demand, if I can handle it, you know, that might be nerfing myself. That might be going pumping the brakes too much too soon after I just did 10. Now I'm like, I need horror content. As I was explaining to my members earlier in our watch party, there's something addictive about it now. So who knows? If I crave it a little bit more and I think I can handle it and recover a bit, it might be bumped up to 2 per month or however much I'm feeling, depending on the caliber of horror that we watch. But there will be at least one Scaredy Cat reaction, one piece of horror content going forward monthly on the channel. So stay tuned. And that's thanks to you guys. Like, shout out to the great reception that made it all worth it. I was really so nervous that I was going to be subjecting myself to this endeavor, watching all of this horror content for the month, and that it wasn't going to necessarily pay off because nobody was going to watch. But thank God you guys are proving what I suspected to be, you know, correct, which is that you enjoy watching me suffer and get a good little jump scare. So
And again, for those who may not have been around for the stream, Catherine did stream Outlast, last year, a year or two ago?
Last year.
So there are some hilarious shorts, and if you follow her TikTok or Instagram Reels, I don't know if you posted those to Reels or not.
I did on
But,
Instagram, I think.
There's some hilarious clips from those streams and the actual streams themselves of her getting hilariously jump scared. So
That was a combination of
no.
being absolutely terrified and then just driven to the brink of insanity.
No.
So if you want to see me lose every last marble I have left, those streams are still up. Outlast streams were so funny, says Steam Money. Yeah. Listen, I was telling this again. I was talking to my members about this today in our watch party that I swore that I would never touch that franchise with a 10-foot pole ever the frick again after I finished it. But all it took was 6 months later and I was craving part 2. I was thinking, wait, oh, Hand of Omega. Speaking of a jump scare, you fooled me. But yeah, 6 months after I finished Outlast and swore that franchise off forever for the sake of my mental health, I felt the burning desire to play it again, or to play the other game, because there's something addictive. Once you get that rush, that adrenaline boost, the rush of fear, it changes you. That's what I've learned after this month. But stay tuned, folks. We're going to do a little tier list. We're going to do a little retrospect on everything that we watched this month, and I'll do a ranking, and who knows, maybe I'll do a little bit of a break from reactions and some commentary deep dive on the effects of watching horror movies on your brain. I actually genuinely want to do some research. So, but we have so many other things coming up. It's going to be an exciting, actually busy month. I've got a lot of vlogs in store, which will be fun. I even contemplated doing not Vlogmas, which is where you do a vlog like every single day for the month of December. I could not do that, but maybe once a week,
Just
little
like
mini
day in the life
Vlogmas.
vlogs?
Just whatever
Every
you
day?
can, whatever you got.
Or you got to go on an adventure every day?
No, you just
December.
do a day in the life.
Oh.
Vlog
Yeah.
whatever you
Oh,
can.
okay. All right. I mean, you
But
can
no, I cannot do that.
Yeah.
My life's too boring for that.
Yeah.
But November is going to be
make it
exciting. November is going to be exciting. And then things will calm down in December. But we are going to most certainly finish Legend of Korra between now and the end of the year. And of course, we have Skeleton Crew and the Dune Bene Gesserit series coming out. So there's still lots to look forward to in store. So in spite of this chapter coming to a close, there's a lot more wholesome content coming up next month. So thank you all so much for joining and for making it worth it. All of these horror reactions. Stay tuned. Conjuring is going to go up on Halloween on the dot. I've got to do some editing for that. But then we'll probably get started soon after with Hereditary, because I promised that to you guys, and I don't want to leave y'all hanging for too long. And new Cobra Kai is coming out too, for real. There's still so much in store, and there's only freaking 2 months left of this year, so lots more to conquer. And the 50K celebration coming as well. That feels so late at this point, because holy smokes, we already crossed like 55, 56K. So it feels so after the fact now, but we still have to freaking do that. Content that won't make you check the door behind you. Amen, Bird Church. I need to get back to a point where I am not walking around scared as crap every day. So, on that note, thank you guys so much for joining us. This was so much fun. Happy Halloween, friends.
Yes.
I'll catch y'all in the Conjuring reaction. I guess go Yankees, because I don't want to see this end. If it were to be a shutout, like, come on, that's so lame.
It is lame. It's pathetic. It's been 15 years since they've been to the World Series.
I want action.
And they can't hit the ball.
I want action.
It is pathetic.
I want a 7-game series. I want a nail biter. So I genuinely would actually like to see the Yankees do something tonight. So
All right. Well, they're going to win 4 straight. So no, what they're going to do is win 3 straight and then go to game 7 and then lose like 50-6. No, they're not. They're going to win the game.
we will see. But until then, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, night, morning, evening, 3 a.m., wherever you may be. Hope you guys are doing so well, and we will see you guys again very soon. Thank you so much for being here.
Yes.
What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?
Jump scare.
How'd you know that was the backdrop?
I've been thinking about it. And I was like, I think I know what the backdrop is.
That's so funny. Well, enjoy, folks. Happy Halloween, and we will see you guys again very, very soon. Bye.
Talk to y'all later. Happy Halloween.